Alisha and this is Luke. Do you want to introduce yourself?
My name is Luke Mioni. I am the intern executive at Camosun College. I've been sitting on the board for 2 years at Camosun, and I've been involved in different events, engagement activities, and just hosting a lot of different things throughout the years that I've been here.
So I was talking to Luke and I realized that he's gonna get done with school in a few months too, and I just got done with school. I currently work with Camosun, and I was telling him how I make videos about things I wish I knew before I moved abroad. And we were talking about, how is it possible for students to make the best of their time at Camosun, and we realized that's only possible if you take part in various clubs and activities.
Get engaged, yeah, just overall, trying to help out in a way that's something that you're interested in. A good way to get involved is to ask questions and talk to people, even though sometimes it may be hard, just to ask a question and be sincere about what you're asking. If you stick with that, after the year, the 2 years time, if you're here for the degree program, you'll have great connections. You'll build up such a rapport with people that they're going to trust you, they're going to believe in what you're saying, and from there you can just keep moving forward.
And I think both of us have taken very different routes. He went, I did work for the Student Society, but he was actually on the board. So his journey was completely different than mine. I'm just super scared of elections, so I didn't want to go on that route. So I basically just made sure I was a part of the cultural committee and took part in international events, worked on the orientation, worked with the student services and the co-op department. And I think Luke's journey was really different. How was yours?
Yeah, Alisha's journey was a little bit more what I would think I would want to do now, because I've had a taste for the other side of things. But if you have the opportunity to engage in any way possible, that's still positive. For me, I like Alisha, we went through university already and found different ways that we prefer to engage with people. For me, I work really, really well with outreach and connection with people. So for me, elections are a great opportunity. It also depends on how much time you have. If you have more time, you can really do certain things. Sorry, I'm just waving to somebody who's watching us interview. Sometimes it's better to challenge yourself, and for me that was to come to a place where I knew nobody.
Yeah.
And for Alisha, she also came from another country, so we both have had zero connections with this place. Doesn't matter if domestic, international, it's just how you communicate and how you find the interest in the things you do. So
yeah, and we were talking about how he was trying to ask me about how is it possible for somebody who doesn't know anybody to come and make friends with local students out here. And then I thought to myself, it was like, for me I didn't really put in much efforts. And then he was like, yeah, because you like talking to people. So I wonder how would an introvert or somebody who doesn't really like talking to people go about with it.
So we were talking about this a little bit before this interview, and also I was speaking with somebody the other day about this, but if you're an introvert, it's hard to really, I came from being an introvert in a way to where I am now, and I still think sometimes I'm not engaging enough, and that's normal. But you have to just not be afraid of what people are gonna think, and if you're not afraid of what someone's gonna think, because reality is, if you're able to speak and you're able to express anything on your face and you smile, chances are someone's gonna understand what you're saying.
True, yeah.
If someone doesn't understand what you're saying, that's on them. But you know what? There's a lot of people here. College, there's people everywhere at all points in time, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to stick with your one group. You can branch out. You can meet new people from anything. Like Alisha is the first time we've spoke more than 10-20 minutes outside of this interview. So it comes down to devotion to what you want to do. If you're down to talk to anybody, which at first can be scary, but you know what, if you're finding new ways to communicate and you're finding ways that work for you, eventually you can just tailor your craft. So yeah, that's what I'd recommend.
Yeah, and I think the best thing about Camosun is that the faculty and staff are extremely friendly. They want
Yeah.
you to succeed. They want you to meet with different people. They want you to take on projects that you can actually do instead of like just submitting classwork. So I think Camosun is really good for that. And I think another thing that's good about Camosun is that it's a community college, and I think it's still evolving. It's not like there's lots of room to come up with new things and new clubs.
The Camosun, what's unique about Camosun is you're talking about a school that has 2 campuses, and it's the biggest college in BC, community-wise, and it's got the ability to change still. It's building, it's growing, and it's learning from all the students that are here and coming here. If you're coming from a place where it's been, there's too many people and there's too many things going on, like myself, I came from Toronto, coming to a place like this, you have the ability to do much more because you feel like you can get across and find the right people.
Yeah.
And it's just,
There also are so many clubs in college. So if you resonate with a certain club, for example, there's like a sales club that Mehta and I actually started. There is one of the other clubs. There's an adventure club. There's a karaoke club. So you can just join any of these clubs. Also, if you are interested in something, you just need to ask if you can open up a certain club, see if you can get people to sign on it, and voila.
like the Adventure Club, for example, that's a club that has reoccurring events, good organization, and we have an event at the beginning of the year when you arrive called Clubs Week.
Yeah.
And that gives you the opportunity to see the organizer, sign up for the club. We also have an app. Currently, it's being used for sales of books, which is by far okay. But if you want to, you can go on there and see what we have for clubs. You can see what opportunities there are to help others out. Another thing.
I'll put the links in the description.
Oh yes, below. I love that. I've never actually been able to do this before, so this is cool. But anyway, there's a lot of ways to get involved, and I think if it's up to you, and you're here, and you have that ability to do something different, it's your opportunity to do it. You're paying the money to be here, and no one's going to tell you that you're doing something wrong unless you're really trying to cause a problem. But for the most part, if you're designated to help out and that's what you feel like doing, there's many ways to help. So this lovely lady here and myself, we're just 2 people out of a pretty big college that have had an experience that you can also enjoy yourself if you want, or you can have the one that most people do is schoolwork and home, where you can do more. That's pretty much how I see it.
Yeah, I think we should end our video here.
Yeah, if you have any other questions, you can comment.
Leave them in the comments below.
Or we'll be back in the next one.
Hi! Like and subscribe!